Hello, my name is Taylor Strong. I'm making this recording for any parents that were unable to make it to the Meet the Teacher open house night that we had. And so that way everybody can at least have the same information. If you made it that night, I think this will just be kind of a repeat, so you can kind of ignore this. But hopefully it's helpful for anybody that was unable to make it. So I'm going to go through the same thing I had gone over, introduce myself, and just kind of explain how the class works. And if you guys have any questions, of course, please send me an email. Let me know. We can meet, and we can kind of find a way to have these discussions one-on-one. So that schedule doesn't matter because that was last night. First up would be a little bit about me. So I am an alumni here. I graduated from TVS in 2000. I was a 13-year student and spent most of my time at the old campus on McCart. But I did graduate from this campus. I went to Texas A&M after that, and I studied biomedical sciences and marine biology with kind of a focus on a few different things. I ended up focusing on some toxicology and research. And I kind of translated that into graduate school, where I studied cell and molecular biology with a focus on cancer research. And so I spent most of my days in a fruit fly lab with microscopes and DNA extraction and experiments and that kind of stuff, and had a great time. I loved that. But I finished and graduated in 2007. Came back to Fort Worth with my wife. She was out there in Lubbock with me. After a brief stint as a doctoral student, I was kind of done being a student at that time. I decided to try teaching, and got certified to teach in 2008. I've been teaching ever since. I taught for 13 years at Arlington Heights High School, teaching honors biology, AP biology, anatomy and physiology for the most part. So all in that kind of life sciences side of things. So that's kind of my specialty. So, and now I'm here at TVS teaching biology. Happy to be here. Absolutely love it. I also have two children here, two girls, Alice and Lillian Strong. They're in second and third grade. So it made a lot of sense for me to make a move over, and I've absolutely loved it so far. So my goal with the class is, having done this for a while, I have a few things that I really like the kids to learn. And the number one thing is understanding the process of science. I want them trying to do science and understand what it is, so that they understand how it's used in like a broader context of society, and what its goal is and what it's capable of. And that means at this age that we're trying to collect data wherever possible. And that means doing experiments, modeling exercises, whatever we can do to collect data. And then when we get that data, I want them to integrate some sort of math analysis of that data. I always think it's interesting how you can take a concept taught in an Algebra 1 class that kids are very comfortable with, and if you just translate that into a science classroom and looking at data and understanding what numbers mean, then all of a sudden that same math equation doesn't make sense anymore. So I try to help kind of integrate those two. And lastly, I do have biology content, but I tend to think of the biology content as understanding that in the context of the process of science. And so that's kind of where I come from with all of this, designing classes and stuff. Resources for these kids. I do have lecture notes that we take in class. I tend to focus on just the most important things in our lecture. I've minimized that over the years to the point where it's just not very much anymore. And so I tend to tell the kids it tends to be maybe two half days of lecture in a week. If some content gets a little bit lecture heavy, it can be a little bit more than that. But for the most part, it doesn't. I also post digital copies of my lecture notes, and the kids have access to those. I annotate over them, and they don't always have that. And so to help with that, I also post videos of lectures. And so the kids can go to my school YouTube channel, and they can find videos of lectures that I record here in my I'm in a closet is where I have a little desk because Miss Collins and I share a room, so this is a quiet area where I can do stuff like this. So we also have the textbook. It is an online textbook. We have plenty of paper copies of the textbook, so if any student would prefer a paper copy, they're free to get one. Just let me know. And of course, I'm a resource. I can help with any and everything, and that's what T-Period and Study and Consultation are for. So I'm here to help and happy to help. As far as grading and assignments go, I tend to organize things in a 3-week unit. Some units are a little longer, some units are a little bit shorter, but 3 weeks is about average. And we have 3 grading categories in the gradebook, where you might see assignments, daily work, quizzes, and tests. So daily work is 20%, quizzes is 30%, and tests is 50%. In the daily work, there's 2 main groups of things that you'll see. We have SmartBook reading assignments. Those are ones that are assigned to be done at home. That's why I highlighted that one. They use their online textbook and answer questions. And then I have what I call mini labs, when they're maybe working in groups, working together, modeling exercises, little simple experiments, manipulatives, things that we're doing that are even just the least bit interactive. I call them mini labs because they may not be what I consider a lab report. And so there's maybe doing the simple experiment, collecting the data, then understanding it. More important than that are the quizzes and the lab reports, because those are worth 30%, and there's not nearly as many of those in a grading period. So we do have 1 quiz in a unit. About halfway through, we get the 15-point quiz. It takes about 20 minutes, so I want it to be about half of the class, and that's kind of a goal. So it shouldn't take an entire class, so we can keep doing stuff. And then we also have a lab report that is included in this grading category, and I bump those up from the daily work because they're more important. These are the bigger experiments that we do. I have them writing things out, like write your own introduction and write your own conclusion and make your own graph, make your own data table, that kind of thing. And we're building up to that. We're actually in the middle of our first one right now. And finally, tests are 50%. It's a 30-point test, so it's about twice as long as a quiz. It takes about 40 minutes. That's a goal, so that everybody should hopefully finish it during class. So that is how the class works. And again, if there's any questions on this, then please let me know and send me an email. Last up is our schedule. Hopefully everybody is took us a while to understand the rotating schedule, but I think all the teachers are good with it now, and the students definitely are. Mine is a little bit different because I am actually a part-time employee up here. They had a need for somebody to cover 3 biology sections, but nothing else, and so I'm not a full-time teacher. And so I teach in periods D, E, and F. So I get anywhere between 2 and 3 classes in any specific day. And so I highlighted in black the classes that I will be teaching, and or the times when I will guaranteed be here, because on days 1 and 2 I only have D, E, and F, and then E and D, and so I don't get here for a little while. I take care of some house stuff, run some errands, trying to play more golf, that kind of thing. So and then on days 3, 4, and 5 I am here from beginning to end, and then day 6 I can come a little bit later. The point of this is to say I'm not guaranteed to be here during T period on days 1, 2, and 6 unless the kids ask. I'm more than happy to be here. If they send me an email, give me just 1 day's notice, and preferably not like 9 p.m. the night before. But if I get an email or if they ask me in class, then I will work around that schedule, and I'll make sure that I'm here, and I'm happy to do that, and I want to do that. Just ask that they let me know. So last up is if you do want more information about me, I've got pictures of my family, my kids, my wife. I have my daily lesson plans, any assignments, any grades, that kind of thing. Those can be found on the Canvas page. So please do take a look if you have any questions, and of course send me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have at strongT@TrinityValleySchool.org. So please send me an email. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and hopefully this was helpful if you missed out on the open house. Bye, everyone.